Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. Happy weekend. Yesterday, I tried to upload that video 3 different times, and it said that my publish button was disabled until they processed it. This has happened before, too, but I had the title on about what their oath was all about, and I changed it to 3 tries and still no publish button. And it went up that time, and then I was able to get in there and change the title of it. So I don't know why, but it just seems a little fishy that I was talking about what's their oath all about. What they actually think it is about is understanding, not really physics, but they say they understand dark matter, like with CERN and that type of thing. I shared a really excellent, it's called a confidential report. It's the unholy truth about CERN's Large Hadron Collider and about dark matter. So I shared that in my community if you're interested. I've told people before for decades, this isn't anything new. It's been going on for a long time about the brain to skull technology. It is not a joke. Frequency and I would call it, just a minute, there's a word for it. I'm a little distracted right now. Just a sec. God dang it. Go figure. Can't think of it right this second. I will. I'll get it. Like influential thought projection. I've talked about that before. How somebody can actually make you think your thought is there or your own, but it's theirs. It's thought projection. Entertainers, musicians, those type of people, they do it all the time. There was a little more to that. I'm trying to work through a little bit of distraction here. But I wanted to get this video done earlier than I did yesterday. And so I'll just work through it. I'll do my best here. There was a creature that wrote on one of my videos, the one that said that babies need to stop blaming their mommies for putting them on this earth. The same with God. It's an opportunity to learn how to grow out of our stupidity. Somebody on that video wrote that his nads itched. I would suggest stop putting them in places they don't belong. Maybe get something for that. So anyway, I assume it was its gender was male since it had nads, you know. Although that word nad it means several different things, not just gonads. But anyway, people are rude, crude, hate their mothers, or lack respect for them. It doesn't matter if their mother, and I'm not putting myself in this category, was a lower vibrating human being. I'm not talking demonic, I'm talking attacked. So she wasn't her utmost for you, that type of parent. So anyway, I am making a video. Say hi, YouTube. Wait, YouTube. You want some cigarettes? I'll take a few, I guess. Yeah.
Lights still
Oh,
taking off early.
okay. It's cool.
Later.
Later. Drive safe. So yeah, it's a very real thing that the dark force will attack your parents so you can't excel the way you're meant to, you know. So cheers. I'm not giving my saw again that with every day, that's why I would suggest that listening to that video I shared today about with the confidential report in dark matter. I'm not on board with everything that, or I don't comport with all that is said in this video. A lot of it is not something that they know well enough to really talk about or explain, but they think they do. I would say most people that talk about particle or quantum physics aren't even able to articulate the capture of electricity or where electricity actually comes from. I'm not saying they don't know anything about it. I'm just saying they don't really know enough to speak up about it in a clear manner for understanding for us because they just don't know. I mean, it's just like with CERN. They're playing guesswork with this stuff. They do not know. They say they know what dark matter is, but I'm telling you they don't. They think that this is satanic, that this is Satan's realm of lifting the veil and letting the bad forces in. That's not what's going on. It's already here. It's been going on. Frequencies towards people, mind to skull technology with the compass and protractor, and they measure your skull from day one and can estimate the growth of your skull and how those frequencies can attack you. And with certain bloodlines and families, this is just what's been going on forever. And now with drugs that are incorporated in with that frequency, and yeah, the attacks are worse than they've ever been. But that's what I was searching for. Suggestive reasoning based on, say, like a narcissist trying to tell me that they cannot control themselves. This is from them. Their suggestive reasoning based on their behavioral patterns, and of course they're going to correlate with what they know to be true. I know that I can act like them, and I know they can act like me. Therefore, they have the ability to control themselves in the flesh. Oh yes, they do. Don't let them tell you anything different. I'm not doing it. Sorry, Professor. You know. I'm helping you more than you're helping me. I'm nobody's victim, and I'm truly not a borderline schizoid or psychopath or a narcissist. None of that. I'm a human being. I'm multifaceted. If you step on my toes, I'm going to smash your head. Stop stepping on my toes. I'm not a stupid woman. I am not going to buy this excuse you are giving yourself for your poor behavior. That shit. Do you understand me now? You will not change my mind. I know what's right and what's wrong and what is true and what is untrue. And you'll never get past that. Not the way you're doing it. These people try to bend and mold me, and just like they do the public, like with suggestion, like people want to emulate things they see and different things. It's like, when are you ever going to do something for yourself? Like on your own, that isn't an example from somebody else, is there? You say that like a narcissist only has like their inner self. Well, where is your inventiveness in there? Where is your imagination? You know, you have all that within yourself. You're godlike. So where is the missing pieces? I'm telling you, you can access those missing pieces by putting God in your heart where it belongs. And He will help guide you through the struggles of the flesh. That's what it's all about. And you're not going to tell me any different. I know better. I know better. So I'm telling you because I'm the expert on mental health and emotional well-being for people. So there, I said it. Have at it. Whatever. Like they say. What am I going to say? It is what it is, right? I am who I am. So, yeah. So there's a lot of so-called scientific minds out there that say that they've captured dark matter and they can explain it, but yet they haven't. But they say they can. Well, this to me is more of what their fear tactics are and their baloney. It's like with that confidential report I shared. He's like, there's 3 colliders, like 7 total. There's more than that. There's 7 in the United States. Then he said that they built one that they weren't supposed to have up and running, but they do somewhere in the biggest state that he wouldn't say. I've already got a video on it. It's underneath Waco, Texas. Right by Dallas, just north of Dallas a little. Or let me see. Waco. South of Dallas a little. No, I was right the first time. It's a little bit north of Dallas. I've been there, but it's been a while. But this has been going on for a very long time with these frequencies, and a lot of people have tinnitus, different ailments, like frequency things going on. There's only one way to combat that, and that's acknowledging God. It's as simple as that. You don't have to do anything else. There's no rituals. There's no fasting. There's no praise. There's no getting on your hands and knees and crawling around like a fool. All you got to do is say, hey, thank you for this opportunity, God. If you look at the sunshine and go, wow, I have coffee beans that grow because God's so gracious, or grapes or whatever. Not grapes of wrath, but actual like grapes. If we give a little bit of credit where the credit's due, these frequencies are not going to bother you. And they will not be able to sway your mind at all because you'll be in tune on that wavelength. Period. That's the way it is. I grew up knowing these things naturally because it's the way I was trained. I didn't know what was going on. Till I was about 15. At 12, I started really... When I decoded the Masonic Blue Book in correlation with the New Testament, I knew it all then. And I've been alone in this project just up until recently, you know. So I've been doing this for a very long time. So let's put it this way. You are not going to... I'm talking to one person in particular. I think he would be friendly, but I have my hesitance there. But let me see how I was going to word this. You cannot persuade me. You cannot use reverse psychology on me. I'll reverse your reverse and you'll try and reverse it back, but guess what? You're already stuck with the truth. You're already stuck with what is logical. It's logical reasoning is what true science is. Is it logical reasoning to think that all dark matter is satanic, or it's the dark matter that holds the satanic force? Get this clear. The satanic force is held down in this atmosphere with what they call gravity because they can't ascend until they humble themselves. And that makes them demonic, and that makes them our adversary on this plane of existence. And it's always been going on since the beginning of time, which they've tried to manipulate also, like Mandela effect. Oh, so you can change a label on something and tell me it wasn't something that I remember or you remember, and it's nothing but foolery, trickery, and lies, but you call it Mandela effect. I call it lying. So, these things, they try and act like it's magical, you know. Supernatural. It's like a narcissist thinks they're supernatural. I taught my children not to be naughty little buggers when they were little. I'm sorry your parent allowed that in your life so you couldn't develop a healthy, stable mindset. Mine didn't get there either, so I'm not just throwing our babies out with the bathwater, and I'm not demeaning anybody for not knowing something. It's when you know something and you choose not to follow the path that would help enlighten other people, of the true, what they call the absolute, that the so-called elite know the absolute. No, you don't. You weren't there in the beginning. You don't know. You only know hearsay. One person's hearsay, another person's hearsay. Isn't that true? It's like if I had a baby and somebody got a card of how much the baby weighed and whatever. You don't know that absolutely. You were not there. You just know hearsay, what you've pulled out of this book or this person or that person. And if it's a trusted person to you, then that's where your loyalties lie. It's really not an original feeling from within yourself. You're based on hearsay from somebody else. Really, even religious orders in that, because your personal relationship with God, without sounding perverse, we're His children, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, your suggestive reasoning, for whatever your reasons, is not going to work on me. I am what they called set in my ways, like Satan being cast into the flesh. And you are legion. Isn't that a sick feeling, to be all a part of one thing in the flesh and not an individual being with an individual soul? Isn't that kind of creepy? Knowing that you share your soul with many, many instead of actually being that individual, unique, inventive. Wow, the things you could pull out of the ether if you were close to our Father. Gifts, talents, strength, intelligence, kindness, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you can pull meanness out of there too. And there's some people that are way too nice. You need to learn a little bit of that hard stuff when you're dealing with demons. You can't pacify these people. So don't do it. You're making a mistake if you do. You're totally making a fool out of yourself in front of them by paying homage to their bullshit. And I'm going to make sure these books, these measures that they have for mental health are changed, because they are inaccurate, and I've proved it with logic. It's a fact. Could be drugs, could be head injuries, could be physical becomes the mental, and vice versa. If you are practicing mental habitual things, good or bad, it's going to become a part of you. So if you can break pattern on things that you're doing and give yourself a helping hand, good or bad, like I say, you could be way too nice and need to practice at being a little tougher. And it does take practice. When you have a real tender heart, don't let it go overboard, because I've seen that too. Don't do that. That's psychotic, But I think you know what I mean. Learning to say no sometimes is the best thing you can do. Not everybody deserves you. Not everybody deserves your yes. If you're a yes person, man or woman, don't be the yes man, Take that second and think when somebody asks you for a favor. I'm not saying don't be a giver or a lover. I'm just saying take that second for yourself and examine what it is they actually want from you before you give of yourself, because it's not always the right thing to do. It's like if you have one parent that's really kind of absent, like you can do anything, you can get away with anything, and the kid knows that, and you have the other parent that might be very, very strict. This kid is going to be totally confused. Or you have two parents that are just really bad, or two parents that are kind of absent. I mean, there's different reasons why we could develop different things in our lives. But sometimes, like I say, being a little too soft, it's not just tough love. Sometimes it's really not love at all. It's for the reason of love, but it's not loving. If you're If you get me to the point where you piss me off, you are not going to hear loving words come out of me. And they say, like, anger is just love with no place to go in that. And it takes a lot. If that's the result, you've earned it. You know, be careful. Careful what you wish for. Because I'm going to tell you one thing once again. You will not persuade me to accept evil as a mental illness. It will not happen. You will accept a gentler side within yourself and adapt before I do any of yours. Do you get it? You will not change my mind. It's amazing the amount of people that have tried to dissuade and persuade. And I was thinking, like, the word parable. It's like in the scriptures where they make it sound like the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit are two men and a baby, isn't that cute? I was thinking pair of bulls, like bullshit. Yeah, two men, parable, a parable. Something that is sort of unclear with more than one meaning, or it's a clear meaning to one person and another, but they get different things out of it, And it shouldn't be like that, should it? Shouldn't the gospel truth be, it used to be. It was written in the words of the time that were understood. And if you knew the amount of words that were taken out of dictionaries and changed, it's all orchestrated. It's hard for people to grasp that groups from around the world that are affiliated can work in tandem like that, like the machine, But they do, and that's what they did. And that's why people are confused, because they don't have a clear-cut manual on what they're supposed to do and getting in touch with their heart. The Word of God's written there. When you put walls up on your heart, you are not going to be in touch with the truth. You will exhibit mental illnesses because of that. It's out of either greed or hatred or self-pity. There's a lot of reasons that could, or a mixture, I'm sure. So, but once again, I think it's like the third time now, the fourth, that I'm saying this. You will never change my mind on the guidelines to what is a mental health issue and what isn't. And I've more than studied. I got downright personal with people. And I'm going to say it, when you're a mother and a grandmother, if you really love people and the people you put on this planet, you're going to do everything within your power. And men, women, you know what I'm talking about. For the people you love and care about, your friends, everybody. If they're not understanding something, you are going to try everything within your power to help bring them peace within their life and your life. And if it's only like affecting your life or your children's, you're still going to do with everything within your power to help that situation better itself. That's what it's all about, We aren't here to pacify what they call the mentally insane. We're here to clarify it. There was something else I was going to touch on, something I saw. Just a minute here. Oh, not. I'm trying to pull up my YouTube for a second here. It's taken a second, but on Facebook, one of the first things I saw this morning was a guy's body that was cut in half. I didn't examine what it was all about, but yeah. So I'm not sure. Oh, that's what it was. JP Reacts has, they want boys and girls in the same restroom, ? Yeah, they do. That's, yeah, trying to normalize the perverse when it really boils down to the Noahide laws, and they're hoping that someday a full-grown man, like a 70-year-old man, can walk down the street with a 4-year-old boy as its wife and nobody's going to say nothing about it. That type of thing. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm not. If the things that have already been done on this planet behind closed doors would make you want to rip your insides out. That's how gross it is. So if you're helping the dark force in any way, just know that there's people like me out here that aren't going to allow it, no matter what it takes. And fear is the last thing you'll ever instill in me, by the way, for the people effing around with their bullshit about CERN. Fuck yourself. No weapon formed against us, if you have God in your heart. Otherwise, you are susceptible to the dark force, and it makes you a dangerous person. So, which I'm still not afraid of. So anyway, that's about it today, everybody, and I do love you. I appreciate you being here. I hope you gathered something out of that. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.